to open carry. We have a permit to hold an unarmed protest. There's a difference. I gotta grab a Mountain Dew. Brought this for the chief of police. I looked for a Baja Blast and couldn't find it. You alright?
Hold, brother, what I tell you. So, just straight up?
Yep. Yep.
We'll do this exchange.
Yep, your Mountain Dew's right here.
I brought you something as well. We'll do it this way. Alright? Know this? Support your right to free speech.
I want you to uphold the Constitution. That's what I want you to do.
We have to keep people safe.
I want you to uphold the
I
Constitution.
appreciate you conversation this morning, alright?
Yes, sir.
Have a few words, you want to wait till you start? And
I'll
say
be
right
something.
over to the right.
Yep.
Yes, sir. You got it?
Yep, I am great. Testing. So, just to explain what just happened here. Obviously, there's a ongoing libertarian joke about chicken tenders and chocolate milk, and the police department denied my chocolate milk. So, the chief of police just made up for it. Hold on, let me show you. So, I think that's his way of saying, you know, apologizing without coming out and apologizing. All right, so what happened this morning, we were surrounded by officers. By the time it was over, we spoke with the chief of police, and he said he'd give us a PA system, so I'm going to use it. Why not, right? So he's going to come and speak to you. I told him I could not promise how the crowd would react. I'll give a speech after that, but I am here to say this. I chanted in January, we will not comply. I'm not complying now. I'm going to openly and blatantly defy unconstitutional law as best to my ability. So that's all I got to say. Some of you might get upset if I let Chief of Police come and speak, but I'm gonna let him say his piece. He's got his right to his First Amendment just as much as we do. So I'm gonna let him say what he's got to say, and you receive him how you do, sir. Oh, and that guy's annoying. Just ignore him.
I tried. So I won't take a lot of time up. I did get to talk to Mike this morning. We sat down right over here. It was a long night for me, so I appreciate him spending time.
They gave me my pistol back.
For talking to me. He did give him his firearm back. So for me, let me first say this, that we certainly support your right to free speech. I appreciate the conversation, the good discussion, I guess, that we had. Did tell you we'd have a PA system. Wanted to have a podium, but we couldn't get the freaking thing to lock, so we at least got the PA system. I also wanted to say this, and I talked to Mike a little bit about this morning, that we talked about the situation with Duncan Lemp. I want to send my condolences to that family. I do understand he was blessed with a baby boy, and that the child and mom are both doing well.
They are.
So I wanted to share that.
Hey, his name was Duncan Lemp, so our name is Duncan Lemp.
So we did have a good conversation, and I wanted to share that. Offer the grounds here to the police department, certainly for free speech, and I appreciate the nonviolence. We treat you with the utmost respect, and I just ask the same. We also had that same conversation this morning. I will step out of the way. Certainly have the mic, and like I said, the different sides of issues. I understand that. I just ask that we address them, or at least for me, I ask that we address them with our votes and our courtrooms and our legislators to share our voice. But what I don't want is to put people in danger or at risk. So I just appreciate, again, Mike, the conversation, being allowed to sit down and talk with you. I'm going to get out of the way. The mic is yours, and certainly have the right to express free speech. Thank you for letting me share a few moments with you. I didn't mean to take up too much time.
Yep, thank you. Thanks, sir.
Check 1 2. So, I'm sorry. I gotta say this. I gotta rewind the tape back to the Trump rally where we so much as stepped in the street and got sucker punched and got slammed to the ground, etc. Why was the free speech not exercised at that point? Why were we not able to sit down in this same situation? This is not against all. We're all for the Second Amendment. But if we're going to be fighting for rights for all, let's be fighting for rights for all.
Yep.
If you're trying to tell me that we can show up like this and get a fucking PA system, and we peacefully show up unarmed to a rally to exercise our right, and we get a lady pushed to the ground, we get a man sucker punched in the face, we get a medic arrested and tackled for trying to render aid, we get stalked and followed to our car, and they try to say that race is not an issue right here? Like, I love Mike. I ain't gonna lie, I'll say this in front of all y'all right here. This is my guy right here.
Hey, we disagree on a lot.
We disagree on a lot.
We stand for each other, and that's what America is missing.
Absolutely. So we're here to dispel any type of rumors. Everybody knows we stand up for the Second Amendment. This is absolutely beautiful. This showing the force is absolutely beautiful. And this was a social experiment, and our hypothesis was correct.
Guess what? It worked.
Our hypothesis was correct. What's happening right now, this is beautiful. I'm talking, in my 4 years of activism, I've never had a police chief offer me a fucking PA system to come out and tell them what I am and ain't gonna do. It just hasn't happened. So, again, appreciate y'all for exposing the world to this beautifulness. We gotta give a shout out to Spike Coheen last week, which is one of the main reasons why we're here in the first place. Shout outs to the city of Richmond, because on July 4th, I met this beautiful young man right here in the first place, and where they distinctly said they are not for white supremacy, and they are not for any type of discrimination against people that look like me. So we only go off experiences in real life. We're not going off of headlines. We're not going off what we read on Twitter. We're not going off what we read on Facebook. We're not going off what we read on CNN and Fox News and MSNBC. We're going off real life interactions. So if anybody has any type of question as to why we affiliate or talk to each other, this is why. Because we're all out here fighting for our rights. Whether it's the right to be black, whether it's the right to bear arms, whether it's the right to do what you want with your body, whether it's the right to smoke weed and get rid of the whole war on drugs, whether it's the right to health care, whether it's the right to whatever is touching you in your heart. So, again, this is beautiful.
Yes, sir, brother.
It blows me monster mind. And, yeah, we with the shits.
Yes, sir. So, and we're going to have a couple more speakers as well, including some that are being affected by this police department directly. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll pass it off. My name is Mike Dunn. I just turned 20 about 2 weeks ago. And Newport City News had a council meeting that I went and spoke against. I strapped a shotgun on my back, a pistol on my side. I walked in, and I spoke against banning firearms on public property, which they had introduced. They proceeded to go forward with that ban, and I said I will not comply. So I open carried on public property, and they proceeded to arrest me, which gives us a battle in the courts. With that being said, legally, we're not supposed to be open carrying here, but
It is what it is.
we're all open carrying.
It is
So
what it is.
what my point with all this is, if you come together and you stand together, whether you disrespect the police, respect the police, I don't care what your opinion is, I'm against unconstitutional laws, and I'm against the enforcement of unconstitutional laws. Regardless of how you feel about the subject, we're here together. We're here standing together openly and blatantly defying unconstitutional city ordinances, and we will keep doing that, and I mean that.
I'm here to say this, that this ain't a black or a white thing. This is a wrong or a right thing. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So, because when we were in Richmond protesting peacefully, and we were getting bombarded by, anti-protesters, peaceful, not rioting, peaceful protesting. We got bombarded by people calling us all kinds of racial slurs, throwing stuff at us, pointing guns at us. And then when we were peacefully protesting, police came out there and tear gassed, guess what? White kids too. Wasn't just Black Lives Matter. It was white kids out there. So I came out there and I said, no, because armed protesters do not get assaulted by police. That's a fact. That is a fact. Now, that is a fact. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to come out there dressed as I'm dressed. Actually, I'm missing one. And let them know, no, you're not going to harm us for being peaceful. We have the right to speak. We have the right to peacefully protest. Because if you don't hear us this way, then a riot is what you will get. So stop lumping the peaceful protesters in with the rioters. Now that's why I became armed and I went out there, and when I marched, I made sure that none of us, because if you look at a lot of those protests, it wasn't just Black Lives Matter out there. A lot of them, a lot of white people outnumbered us out there. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? I'm protecting them too, because they don't deserve to get tear gassed. The same stuff that we can't use on our enemies overseas, we can use on United States citizens, peacefully protesting. So I'm glad that this happened. You know what I'm saying, with Mike's situation, and that's his fight. This is his fight. I'm here to support him and our rights to open carry in an open carry state. The only reason, if you look at all these city ordinances, the only reason that they were brought out was during the protests, because of the protests, because they could not come out there and just tear gas us. You have to be real stupid to shoot tear gas at somebody that looks and dressed like I'm dressing right now. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I said it's not a black or white thing.
You looking to make an arrest, Mike?
Hold on. It'll be symbolic enough. Let's just stand here and stare into the doors.
I was doing that earlier while y'all were doing interviews.
Line across.
Just to get a goon picture out front of the police station.
We'll get everybody.
Hey, everybody back beside me.
Next to that picture that says, notice every carrying firearms.
Yeah.
That's the photo. Holy shit.
I gave him a Diet Mountain Dew, and he gave me a chocolate milk because I've asked for chocolate milk when I was arrested. And it's also a standing joke among libertarians and the Boogaloo movement that we like chocolate milk and chicken tenders. And you know, we're a bunch of young guys. A lot of us are under the age of 25, and we like to have fun. We like to have an inside joke, and that was the inside joke. He gave me a chocolate milk, and I think that was his way of apologizing without apologizing.
Okay. And a follow-up, I guess, kind of obviously related. Why do you think the police are not acting with y'all being armed right here on their doorstep?
Because they, you know, this is our court. We're armed. Everybody here is armed. Everybody's locked and loaded as well. The majority of the people here, and it's not their battle to fight right now. So I think it's something that they have stood down from and said, you know what, exercise. I don't think a lot of these, I've spoken to several of these police officers, and I don't think their intent a lot of times is to enforce unconstitutional laws. I'm not a big back the blue guy, but I'm against cops that enforce unconstitutional laws. And I feel that a lot of these cops really don't want to. And so this here, they're like, all right, look, if we can get out of this, we can get out of this. And they really don't want to start. It's not just going to be one of us out here. It's not like they're just going to arrest me and walk out. My goons here, my goons ain't going to allow that. I mean, it's not going to happen. So I think that's why I really believe that they're like, hold up, we messed with the wrong movement, and we're not going to do it. From the PD, police chief himself.
Chocolate milk attendees. I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah, just on the other side, Cam.
All right, where we at with that?
All right, who wants me to kick it out of here like a football?
Yeah, that's how you gotta end the night, man. I bet you can't.
Hey, can we get one more, guys? One more. Hey, quick.
Yeet.
Bless you.
The sneeze was sus.
Pop says everything.
Get him.
That's me.
Sam? There you go. Rest. Oh, did you get one down there?
Don't lose the chocolate milk, bro.